And the Eagles with their key forwards working hard, with Sam Phillipou with 3 goals, Fergus Swats, Dale Ellis with first quarter goals with 1, and Mark McKenzie chipping in that quarter. And for South, they're all singles on the left-hand side of the screen with King, Tregenza and Warren. Just failed to make the most of the breeze in that quarter.
But look, if you look at those stats in the inside 50s, 22 to 20, I suggest that they'd be lopsided for the first quarter in favour of the Eagles and the second quarter in favour of South.
They missed some late opportunities there, South. We saw Nick Manhood miss a very gettable one, Daly miss a very gettable one as well. So they could have brought themselves back into the game, but unfortunately they just missed those opportunities. Didn't really put any scoreboard pressure back on the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles are also, whilst they're good on the scoreboard, they've lost this man, Matthew Stokes, and I can tell you that it is a dislocated thumb, and if you are in any way squeamish, do not look at the last shot that we're about to show you if you don't want to look at a thumb pointing the wrong way, because it is pretty ugly. And clearly they're distressed immediately and knew he was in trouble. Oof, that pains me to look at it. Well, what is the end result of that? Well, Mark Soderstrom has been investigating at half-time and can tell us, Soders, what's the full detail on the injury?
Well, the news is pretty good for the Eagles. Matty Stokes did dislocate the thumb, Neil, you're right. For Michael Maney's benefit, he has damaged the metacarpophalangeal joint. And what has happened is that he's had it restrapped. He's been testing it with some ball work during the break, and just at the warm-up there after half-time, he did handle the ball pretty comfortably. He's going to start on the bench in the third term, but we can expect to see him later in the game.
And the metacarpophalangeal joint, can you speak that in English and point to what it might be?
Yeah, Neil, it's just somewhere around here. And I've absolutely no idea which part of the finger it is, but it's somewhere near the thumb.
Right at the base of the thumb there. OK, thanks for that, Soders. Just a quick score from the other game being played this afternoon. Of course, Westies beating Norwood last night, but North Adelaide 11-2-68. Great kicking against Sturt 10-4-64. A 4-point lead for the Roosters at half-time. Well, in this game, Andrew, plenty of time to go, and we're just about to see the second half. Here's Michael Maney.
Thanks, Neil. We will get Mark Soderstrom to spell that for us a little bit later on. I don't know that he'll be able to do that somehow. But the third quarter about to get underway. The Eagles by 24 points. Sam Phillipou has been the difference up forward, booting the 3 goals. Good to see him back in top-class form. 4 goals the difference in favour of Woodville West Torrens as Mark Bradley prepares to leap in the middle, taken down by Lindsay. No one can get clear possession of the football. It's knocked forward by the Eagles, taken by Ellis. King, another stat for him. Tarrant, they're working hard inside 50. No one can take the mark. Shuffled out of that was Stephen Hall. Pedler got it away to Merriman. Fruin back to Sikalella. Sikalella will switch. Got a call from Spear. Was he dealt with after he kicked the ball? I think he might have been. Short kick finds Toya. Just backward of the wing. Good Toya, the former Fremantle Docker. He broke his neck playing for the Dockers a long time ago. Long kick over the back, Bennett. It's a bit of aerial ping pong. Bradley beneath his knees, couldn't get it. Floriani did well. Back to Powell, who was already covered. To Kruger. Now, this will be an important give by Kruger. He's worked himself into all sorts of bother. But finally, the kick found Wilson, who fumbled the mark but got it to Sampson, who's run out of real estate. Needs to give it back to Wilson. A lot of possessions on the outer side as Cobb sets up Sampson. Got a good bounce. They work it to the outer side wing. Up goes Warren in front with the long sleeves. Couldn't take the mark. Ball close to the boundary. It's out. Throw it back in. A minute and a half gone. And there's the bench of the Eagles. Matty Stokes just to the left of screen there. Looking a little bit disconsolate. I don't think he'll get back on the field today. You wouldn't risk him at this stage, Andrew?
As we can see in that photo there, you really wouldn't risk him unless you really had to and you really need some input from a midfielder.
McKenzie with a hand pass forward to Toya. Now he's got a bit of room to move. His kick will carry over his intended target in Ellis. He was set up. Ball punched to ground. And eventually it's out of bounds just in front of the scoreboard. I think that target was Watts, not Ellis. There's a South Adelaide bench. And they're not very happy, are they? Just taking their time. Trailing at half-time and kicking into the breeze in the third quarter. They'll really need a good performance so they can come home with the breezes. Bennett gets it across to Sampson. He looks up, doesn't have a lot to kick to. Goes as long as he can. Damasi's forced out of it, and a good mark taken there by his opponent in Merriman.
It's been a very good play today, Andrew Merriman. It's certainly done the job on Damasi, but also provided plenty of rebound.
9 possessions to Damasi's 2.
Up inside, forward 50 again. Inkster turning out of trouble, then back into trouble, across to Stokes. He'll be shut down. Gets the hand pass though. Gets it away towards Spear around the corner on his non-preferred foot. Minor score.
Just good awareness there by the Eagles Crummers to go forward after Dale Ellis unloaded from well outside 50. And Luke Spear, very similar build and mould to his brother, slightly not as a key position player like he was, but same number, looked very similar.
Kruger looks for King out in front of that player, number 3 for the Panthers. Just got around, did well, got it to the skipper in Sampson. Another possession for him, wobbly old ball, effective, finds Manhood. Umpire called him to play on, plenty of confidence there. Manhood kicks it inside 50. Warren at the front has given away a free kick. Just out of the contest there, and just a bit of jumper taking on Pedler. Spread it to the outer side, Fruin. Ducks back inboard to Colville. Takes an uncontested mark and away he goes. Short kick, Toya. Spear does the running on his left boot. Not a good kick. Got to use it with the breeze. Bradley just fed it out to Cobb. He's just got a fit of the fumbles. Composes himself now and just kicks to a nest of Eagles. Not a good option. Potter tried to go straight through. Toya kicked to centre half forward, and the man in the gap is Bradley. Let himself down, didn't take the mark. Ball knocked on by Westbrook. Griffin wants the line and just trickled off his boot. Boundary throw in.
Change down here with Luke Spear coming off the ground for Vinny Regolo. Moments earlier we did see Tom Hedge and also Sean Daly on the bench for South Adelaide. There's only 2 there. The third one is Jared Wright, who did cop that heavy knock into the hip with his collision with John Floriani in the first term. He's in the rooms getting some treatment at the moment, and South Adelaide are hopeful he will make a return.
There's Floriani, and Inkster has a free kick. He's a left footer, so favoured by that on this side of the ground. Just lobs it up into the danger area. Filippo will fly. Bennett will fly better. Pulls down the mark, spreads it quickly to Sampson. Manhood is the next man in line. He wants to kick over Manhood, in fact, but there's nobody there. He's got no choice. He's got to go to Manhood. He looks around. Now Tarrant on the lead. Hard lead by Tarrant, and out of bounds on the far side of the ground. No free kick for that little bit of work from Tarrant. As you can see, Manhood. I don't think that's cordial going down the left side of his face there. Moggy.
Yeah, sorry, Neil. Top ball getters in the first half for South. King 14, Sampson 11 and Smith 10. And for the Eagles, Mackenzie and Colville each 11 and 10 each to Rugolo and Powell. And Matthew Stokes.
I don't think Matthew Stokes will be adding to that tally this afternoon, you would think.
You can see it's a lot more even spread of on-ballers there, that the numbers are evenly spread over a much number of larger players. Heavy reliance on Clinton King and Clay Sampson to drive the South Adelaide midfield.
That one high, Potter camped underneath it, then spilled what he probably should have taken. And he did well to recover. Then he freed up Toya. Toya with a bit of space off the left foot. He goes inside 50. Filippo almost turns on his man, successfully gets away from Wilson. Around the corner, Filippo has kicked a goal. That's 4 for Filippo. Supporters slow to acknowledge that. I don't think they truly believed it had gone through, but Filippo was happy, and why not?
He's turned the clock back today, Sam Filippo, back to his younger days. He's turned Kim Cobb around there, used pace to get out of the way, realised that if he kept the ball low, it was going to be smothered by Kim Cobb. So he kicked the ball high, and we can see a great shot there on goal umpire Cam. He knows as soon as he's kicked it. So the all-important goal in the first goal of the third quarter goes to the Eagles, and they extend this margin out. 31 points, real danger time for the Panthers.
Lovely snap by Filippo. Really on his game today. This man too, Lindsay. Taken by King, another stat. He just racks them up. Webb got it to Sampson. They need to respond, the Panthers. It's out to 31 points. High kick, Merriman just at the front, mopped it up. Went with a long ball. Smith gets back, takes the mark, running for him. King's about to be shut down by Floriani. All the turnover. Well done, Colville. Handball a bit fierce for Toya. He's need to knock it back to Colville. Colville goes off the ground. Umpire said that's okay. Webb got it to Smart, who really hasn't had too much of it today, Nigel. Smith misses the target in Bennett, so they lose about another 15 metres. Lovely run down by Mackenzie. Was he held without the football? Umpire said no. Bennett takes it over the line. Just fiddling with the ball. Bennett, an experienced player, turning it over.
Just a comedy of errors, Ed. No one could really hit a target. Probably trying to be a little bit too cute. Look, let's get the ball out of the danger zone. Let's get it down the line so that get it out of the Eagles so they can't kick a goal.
Inside, the Eagles attacking 50. Lindsay and Bradley. They both get a bit of it taken by Carey of the Panthers. Around the body, Sikalella couldn't take the mark. Manhood wearing him like a glove, shoves him to the ground. The umpire said he got rid of the football. It'll go back to Sikalella. Well, I thought the tackle was okay. He just finished it off with a little bit too much aggression, according to the umpire. Sikalella, from a long way downtown, will just go for a torpedo punch, which looked pretty ordinary. Griffin just off the side of his boot and out of bounds. Ugly bit of play, Andrew.
And what do you do if you're on fuller there? Justin Sikalera, taught from 65, 70 metres out, was never going to get the distance. Nick Manhill's done a pretty good job on him. He's certainly sending a message.
He was never going to make the distance the way it was kicked, that's for sure. As out of the pack comes Powell off the left foot. That's wide, very wide, in fact, out on the full. And Cobb will take the free kick for South Adelaide. Hoggy, I spoke over the top then. Go again.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Justin Sikalella just 5 and 3 today. Nick Manhood's had 5 kicks himself.
Certainly Robert Pinewood would see that as a win for the Panthers.
Cobb taking his time. This is their preferred way of going, though, onto the far side of the Noarlunga Oval. Keeps it close to the boundary line. Bradley flies from behind. It comes to the front. Toya, the good rove. And then with the check side of the non-preferred foot, if you do not mind. Oh, what a goal.
What's going on there? A kick with the right foot or what?
I think Ronnie Fuller's a bit shell-shocked there as well, but we're going to look at this at replay. He's actually turned the ball across his foot. You can see here, ball eventually works free. He's actually gone to kick a check side, and it's really come off as a drop punt. And it's split the middle. So, look, when you're hot, you're hot. And Luke Toya, who is gaining valuable confidence and valuable game time today, getting himself fitter. I mean, it's almost getting the stage where it's getting out of reach now for the Panthers.
Luke Toya 11 and 4 today, 6 possessions in this quarter already.
Freakish goal by Luke Toya, taken out of the middle by Hanby. Sikalella with pace. Well done, Warren. Took him to ground. Damasi, there's courage. Sikalella back on the footy. Warren got it away to Manhood, who uses Smith. Smith, did that go 15? Umpire said yes. Hanby has to get rid of it to King. King's shot at goal is there. A couple to Clinton King. Good work by the Panthers. They respond, and I tell you what, Andrew, they needed to.
They did, but it was just smarter play. They didn't try to go for anything too untowards. And Hanby, just good awareness he was going to get run down by John Floriani. And Clinton has had a very good day that John Floriani has been assigned to him now. Finishes off with a nice goal, so Clinton King continues to rack up the possessions.
19 of them.
31 the margin.
Change for the Eagles with Sean Daly coming into the centre of the ground at the expense of Scott Webb.
And Floriani, the kick smothered partially, but he gets it out of the centre and going the Eagles' way. Watts got the hand pass going. Rugolo, and then forward it came. And still is that holding the ball? No umpire Peter Williams coming in and saying, I'll take possession. Still inside forward 50 again. Ronnie Fuller just mixing and matching on the board that is in front of him. Tapped down by Lindsay. Hanby did well. I think went for the boundary line. Found Griffin. Now King, now Daly. Good footwork from Daly. When he got free, the kick down the centre wing. Coming onto the ground, Matthew Stokes with the punch. Very interesting. All taped up and ready to go, obviously, Sodas.
Yeah, he is back on, obviously, and John Floriani coming off for him. And Matty Stokes, he has had a bit of time just working on that hand, getting it warm, getting it right. So, and here he is with the ball again.
Yes, and being hounded while we're looking at that replay. Number 2, Matthew Stokes. If you missed the first half, he actually dislocated his thumb in a collision with a goalpost. May have just got his hand or thumb in an awkward position on the padding and got it reefed out of joint. It's been put back in. As you can see, that left hand is heavily strapped.
Come on, Neil, have a go at that joint. What was it called?
Interesting the punch was with the right hand too and not the left.
I want you to spell it.
Phalangeal something or other joint, but anyway. Here's Inkster working in a tight space. Great kick to the advantage of Watts. He took a nice mark in front of the eyes, turns around and has a go at Jared Bennett, who may give away 25. A lot of experience for Bennett. Played at the Sydney Swans, and he came over the mark, and he'll get 25, and Watts has a go at him, the young man and the old lion.
He did have it cocked here in a minute there, Fergus
Yes.
Watts. He was ready to throw it and just thought better of it at the I think, look, he's not backward and coming forward for an 18-year-old lad.
Well, he's been compared favourably, I might say, with Dermot Brereton, although in the past week I think Dermot's had his problems in being compared with that sort of action.
It's misunderstood.
He's being held responsible, perhaps, for some of that action. And another 25 metres. Is it? Yes, a bit of language perhaps from Michael Hanby. So the umpires rewarding Fergus Watts with another 25 metres. And what was a very difficult shot from perhaps 70 metres out has become, you would think, a lay-down misère.
Geez, that would very much disappoint the Panthers and their players, and certainly Robert Pyman. But they've worked themselves. They got the last goal. They've got some sort of momentum going to the game. And just for 2 undisciplined acts there, gives Fergus Watts his 2nd goal for the day. And just, as I said, it's just starting to unravel a little bit here for the Panthers.
Fergus Watts, touted to be one of the star recruits of the year. We have a blood rule coming up, just waiting on it. Umpire in the centre of the ground.
Yeah, Michael, it's actually Matthew Smith, the Deputy Vice Captain. He's got some blood on his elbow, but he's disputing it with the umpire and he's refusing to leave the ground, so the trainer's coming over to clean it up.
Thanks, Mark. I think that's the way they go these days, and if they can just sort of wipe it off quickly instead of holding up proceedings just for a small graze.
Well, they had to wait anyway. They had a lost ball, so they've had to go and get another ball from the bench.
That one's gone right down towards Victor Harbour. Back in the middle. Daly just hails for the cab, and Inkster hands the ball to the umpire. There's the Watts versus Bennett stoush still going on. Big climb there. What taken by Stokes, I should say. Colville just delayed it enough. Probably too long. Damasi, Daly, chopped off. Beautifully done, Merriman, who kicks forward, back Bennett. Which way will he go? Watts can't drag him in. Bradley, good pick up on the half volley. Uses Griffin. Now Griffin's got to use the football well. He does. That's a good kick. Sets up Damasi. Damasi, oh, well, he just couldn't quite take the mark. And he may get a free kick paid against him. Just held on to Gavin Colville after that bit of play. So Colville's got it and will kick toward half forward, you would imagine, as they muster. Long kick to a packed situation. Bennett in the middle of that. Quick hands. Stokes. Powell just uses Toya. Can't get it. Smart to King. Well weighted handball over the top to Smith. King got it back. Target was Smart. Went further than that to Bradley, and Bradley's short kick finds Scotty Webb just on the wing.
Gee, they'd like to break out of that pocket. Go, Sodas.
Yeah, sorry, Michael. Scotty Webb just coming onto the ground there for Mark DiMarzio. I think has paid the penalty for dropping that mark.
Well, they have broken out of that pocket, and they're across to Sampson, who's on centre wing. He's got a bit of space to work with. Nobody's coming towards him, though. Finally, somebody comes on the lead, and it's Tregenza, and he slides in and takes the mark.
Just been starved of opportunities today, Roger Genza. They haven't controlled the midfield. Really hasn't been hit with a kick, so Stephen Hall has had his job made considerably easy by the South Adelaide midfielders. He's a very dangerous player, though.
Started the game with 24-13 for the year, 24 goals, 13, and has kicked 1 goal this afternoon. His only real opportunity, and that came at the 8-minute mark of the opening term. So Tregenza from wide out on the far side of Noarlunga Oval. Just puts it up there. It's awfully close. Goal umpire weight on it. It's been tapped across the line. So minor score for Tregenza. Not happy with himself. South Adelaide 35, 36 points down. 17-minute mark of the third term.
And every week I harp on, if you're can't make the distance, it's no good kicking it close to the goal line. It's very much a defender's dream or what he's trying to achieve. He can just tap that forward, kick it out in the top of the square, put some real pressure on him.
Speaking of dreams, dream kick by Sikalella right into the centre. Toya to Powell. Powell's kick looking for Stokes. Well played, Griffin, who uses Hanby, who goes on that right boot. The target is Tarrant. Can't take the mark. This Eagles defence, led by Merriman, has been sensational today. Merriman's kick, looking for Colville, hit him on the head. Well, if there was a net there somewhere, that would have been the perfect header for a goal.
We'll get a look. Matthew Smith has actually hits his arms. There, hits the arms. The only thing he could hit him in the noggin.
Oh, he'll have a laugh at that when he sees the replay, I'm sure, Gavin Colville. There it goes. Just on top of the right ear. Smart in there with Mackenzie. And another bounce. How close does South need to be? There's 6 goals down at the moment. How close do they have to be before they're a real opportunity in the last quarter?
Oh, I'd like to say about 2, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere near that. Look, I think if the Eagles can continue, I think the game may well be dead at 3/4 time.
Looking a little bit that way at the moment. Sampson boots it forward. Webb just uses Carey. Carey's got a bit of pace. He may go all the way here, Carey. Long kick to the square. That's a lovely kick by Carey. Just touched on the line by Stephen Hall. What a run by Carey. That may lift spirits. They'll need a little bit more of that, though.
And you see Stephen Hall just forever protecting the goal square, but individual brilliance like that of Carey is what South Adelaide need to get back into this game.
Merriman just short to Mackenzie. There's Carey still feeling the puff after that little sprint towards the goals. Mackenzie, meanwhile, has it on the main grandstand side of the Noarlunga Oval, and it's just knocked away by Bradley at the back, over the line in front of the South faithful. You get the feeling a little bit disappointed with their efforts this afternoon.
Frustrated Robert Pine, but interesting, the Eagles push their ruckman forward, not allowing Mark Bradley to play a kick behind the play.
Bradley down to Manhood. That was nicely done. Kick down the line. Carey comes from behind, does well to get rid of Potter, and then Potter comes back at him, knocks him over the line.
Just off screen, Nick Manhood's been released from the Justin Sikalella line. Clinton King's worked himself into the ground, just giving him a 5-minute spell at half forward. He now picks up Justin Sikalella.
Not much of a spell, is it? Picking up Sikalella. Bradley again had the better of that. Toya prepared to hold the ball rather than let it out loosely, and perhaps give South Adelaide an opportunity to attack from near half forward. Umpire quick to get the game underway. I like this. Throwing the ball up rather than taking 30 or 40 seconds to bounce the ball. This time it aids the Eagles, and Colville boots it up towards the forward 50. Coming to meet it was Cobb, overran it. Smart knocked it inside, dangerous. Griffin almost overran it. Then against 3 Eagles, he breaks out. Well done by the young man. The kick, oh, was it? Yes, just inside. Smith wants to play on. Around the corner to Daly. Still at half back. Daly looks towards the centre. Nobody there. He's got to go down the line. There's nobody there either. Takes his time. Finally high. Big leap from O'Hara at the front. Nice mark for the Eagles. And they'll go back into their attacking area.
O'Hara, an emerging ruckman in the SANFL, uses Toya. Up high, Westbrook, rove by Bennett, who got it to Hanby, who thought about going back to Cobb. He goes to Smart, who just shrugs the Regolo tackle. Long kick by Smart, just off the side of the boot to a one-on-one contest. Pedler knocked it to ground. They all overrun it. In goes Stephen Hall, and we'll have a bounce. So, Nigel Smart's going today, Andrew?
I don't think he'll find himself back in tricolours next week.
Must agree with you there.
Pretty quiet, 5 kicks, 2 handballs.
Not much of it. Inkster over the top. Toya. The Eagles share it well. Sikalella, wobbly old left footer, getting back Wilson. Well done, Watts at the front. Wilson should have gone the punch. And no one can come clear out of there. Kruger is the man with the football.
Is that honesty in the air by Fergus Watts? Was caught underneath the footy. Ben Wilson was in a prime position. Fergus Watts pushed back hard into him. At least brought the ball front and centre, give his crummers a chance.
O'Hara, not a crummer, but working hard. There's a free kick over the shoulder. It'll go to Rugolo. Vinny. Should just call him Vinny, I think, Neil. Away it goes to Ellis, who unloads one of those big thumping drop punts. Filippo at the back, can't take the mark. Spills to the front. Bennett did well. Found the line. Jared Bennett has been terrific today across half-back. He's had a good struggle with a couple of Eagles forwards. There's Kim Cobb, the number 25, the vice-captain of the Panthers. Boundary throw-in. A change. Vinny Rugolo off, Spear on. And a bounce inside 50, attacking half for the Eagles. Paul Lindsay sitting down as well for the Eagles. They will mount something in the last quarter. 23 minutes gone. It's 35 points to the Eagles.
Just 25 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal. Inkster working in confined spaces there. Ball comes to Griffin, I think it was. It was a South Adelaide player under all that. He'll get up and hand it over to the umpire. And get another throw up, and I like this. As I said, it just gets the game moving so quickly. Webb, nice trap. Got the hand pass out. Tapped into space for Daly. He missed it. Griffin with the tackle. Daly was quick. Carey asking a lot to get his arms over the top there in the tackle. It's still in tight. Still there's a lot of bodies around the ball. The umpire will call for another throw up. And this will happen very quickly. No waiting, no delay. Here we go. Yep, this is... Oh, no, he's taking his time this time. It's certainly quicker than a bounce. Daly and Stokes go at it. King gets the ball. Now across to Hanby. Fakes the hand pass. Didn't have much choice. The player that he was going to give it to ran away from him. Now Daly just knocks it forward for South Adelaide. Potter gathers for the Eagles. O'Hara. Oh, swamped by Manhood. Was it in the back? The umpire said no. Just keep on going, boys. It's at centre wing, just in that interchange area. And it's a 35-point lead for the Eagles. They look safe at the moment, but it's not a high-scoring game. And, well, South Adelaide would have to kick 6 goals to win this at the moment. They've only kicked 4 in the match so far. Inkster missed it. Carey didn't. Over the shoulder with the kick. Down towards half forward. Fruin met hard by Warren. Took the knock and then gave it out to Merriman. Merriman didn't like what he saw down the line. Didn't have much choice. Smart will come from behind and clear the pack with a punch. It goes straight to Inkster. Inside to Spear. With plenty of room to move, he says go. And inside forward 50 waiting for him was Filippo. And a nice delivery from Spear. A Spear pass, if you like.
And just copybooks crumbing there by Tim Inkster, who's able to release to Luke Spear. Sam Filippo just delayed his lead long enough, and Luke Spear with a beautifully weighted kick. So Sam Filippo having a good day out, going on his 5th.
Happy for him to go to the pocket there, Andrew?
Oh, look, if the kick's on and he can actually, he can hit the kick, yeah, great. But if he misses the kick, it goes out of bounds in the pocket, then percentage is not in that way.
Well, it looks good too if Filippo just finishes the job and kicks a goal, which he does. Perfect decision made by Spear.
Yes, and Sam Filippo continues on his good day. He has certainly been the beneficiary of some good forward target. There's that crumb by Tim Inkster and a good give inside to Luke Spear. Plenty of time. Very well shepherded by Westbrook just off the footy, and Kim Cobb just lost him in transit there. And Sam Filippo, what he can do very well is finish with a goal. And he's 5th for the day. He's certainly been a valuable target up forward.
Filippo now in front of South Adelaide by a point.
Well done, Sam. 5 goals won, 31 to Sam Filippo, 4-6-30 to the Panthers. As we see a change down there, Sodas, what's happening?
Yeah, blood rule here. John Floriani's about to head onto the ground. There's actually blood on the jumper there of Andrew Merriman, so I think we'll swap that and he'll be back on soon.
Mark Soderstrom on the boundary for ABC Television. Back in the middle. 41 points the difference in favour of the Eagles. You would think they would be home from here. O'Hara slipped. That is very slippery right in that middle part of Noarlunga. And we've seen a few ruckmen come to grief today, Andrew.
We certainly have. It's just you wonder about the surface out here is still a little bit shifty. It's very hard underneath, but a little bit of rain makes it shifty. So it's very much line ball, whether you go with moulded soles or screw-ins.
4 goals to 1 in this term by the Eagles have set up this lead. Ball just still in the centre square. Just forward for the Panthers, umpire Peter Williams.
And Michael, just for your information, if you do see Andrew Merriman run around again, it'll be number 39 back on the ground.
Thanks, Mark. O'Hara got it away to Colville. Colville's kick forward. Oh, that's a beautiful bit of play by Ellis. Got a call from Westbrook. Sensational play. Westbrook's wobbly old ball. Which way will it bounce? The football does tend to do some strange things. This time it bounces through for one behind. 42 points the difference in favour of the Eagles.
Key forwards for the Eagles, in particularly Fergus Watts and Dale Ellis, have worked really hard and brought the ball front for their key on ballers, and they really have really controlled. You don't always have to take a lot of marks at centre half forward to be a very good player.
Ball back into play. O'Hara did well to smuggle it out of there to Stokes, who in turn gave it across to Westbrook from 50 metres. In goes long, direct, and I guess this game is all over.
Yes, and the danger of bringing the ball back inside served the Eagles really well there. You see David Wilson, and eventually they worked it out of the pack, and Westbrook in space, you see just outside 50, just controls his leg. The breeze does the rest, and the Eagles have opened up this game really nicely now, and it's very hard to see South Adelaide working their way back into this game.
Pretty good day for David Westbrook. 10 kicks, 1 handball.
Good player. 1 goal 2. 5 goals 2 to 1-2 in this third term, the all-important third term. Back in the middle. See if they slip this time. They keep their footing. Taken by Daly. Late goal will be handy for the Panthers. Is out to 48 points. They won't be able to get it. Not this time. Floriani working hard to Ciccalella. Ciccalella waits for it to sit. Still tracks it. Does well. Got rid of it. Tarrant over the top. Taken by Tregenza, left footer. Well, they've scored one. It's a behind. Rod Tregenza. Let's have a look at the way he's gone today. 1 goal 1.
Just limited opportunities today for Roger Genza, but South Adelaide once again, we saw them miss 2 late shots in the second quarter. They've just missed another important shot to work their way back into the game.
O'Hara took the mark quickly onto Toya, too quick in fact. Toya was good enough to get it, then give it to Inkster. Inkster looks long. On the lead came Watts. Inkster, too quick for himself almost. Oh, stumbly, fumbly old kick. And he gets the ball forward and Westbrook takes the mark. Kim Cobb has gone to Westbrook. Smart has gone on to Filippo in the goal square. And back in the middle, just behind where this kick will be taken, O'Hara has come to grief. And you see there, that's Brett O'Hara, the ruckman. No, it's not. It's Ellis, in fact, who has come to grief. Didn't notice how it happened, but I noticed him on the ground. Looks to be limping away as Westbrook lines up after the siren. And that should not make it for any score at all. It doesn't. And so at 3/4 time, as we watch Ellis very uncomfortably walking to the 3/4 time huddle, it's the Eagles 11-12-78, South Adelaide 4-7-31.
And of course the Eagles have banked the first 3 quarters. They've won every quarter so far, and such is their professionalism, they would look to finish this off. They've just spread their good players over too many for South Adelaide. For South Adelaide, Sampson has worked really hard, and so has Clinton King, but it's been left to too few. And for the Eagles, they've had a number of great contributors. Andrew Merriman was superb in that quarter. We saw a number of other players, and they just are too complete around the ball. And Luke Toya is a player who came across some big raps from Western Australia, came across probably a little bit overweight and probably not fit enough. Suddenly starting to find some fitness, spending some more time in the midfield, and kicks a miracle goal, and he was heavily involved. And here's the key target has been for most of the day, with 5 goals so far for the day, San Filippo. Just giving Kim Cobb a bit of the runaround so far, and unfortunately Kim Cobb was then shifted on to David Westbrook, who then kicked another goal. So Kim Cobb just not one of his better days.
No, it isn't. And South Adelaide, Michael Hanby, I hope he got a call from Clinton King then, or maybe he didn't, but he had a sixth sense that he knew there was somebody coming behind him, and he quickly gave it to King. He's battled hard this afternoon, King, but really been overwhelmed by the Eagles midfield. Fergus Watts thought about landing one?
You've got to admire the way he plays his footy, but also he's got some aggression in him, and he eventually got a recipient of 2 25-metre penalties there and was able to finish. And he's an impressive player. He's very honest in the air. He'll just jump at it. You can see he's got a little bit of something about him, aggression. And once he gets himself fit enough and big enough, he will be a very, very important acquisition to the Adelaide Crows. But the key to the day, the forward line, has been Sam Philippe. Doesn't need a lot of possessions to hurt you on the scoreboard. Suggests he's probably owned about 8 or 9 kicks. Kicked his 5 goals.
Yes, and well, the Eagles have made the most of their forward entries against the Breeze in this game and have kicked 11, 12, 78 to 4, 7, 31. As you see, they have expanded that margin over South Adelaide in every quarter, so they've won every quarter, and that's all you can ask as a coach.
It certainly would, and Ron Fuller would be imploring on then at 3/4 time, look, we need to win this last quarter. If we can win this last quarter, well then we've put in a really good solid effort all day. From Robert Palmer's point of view, obviously look to gain something out of the game. Let's see if we can win this last quarter, especially with the Breeze.
Well, you mentioned Sam Philippe kicking 5 goals up forward for the Eagles. There's one man who I guess maybe has some mixed feelings about that. Mark Passador joins us. He's on the injured list at the moment with a hamstring. And Mark, I guess a frustrating time in terms of the injury at the moment.
Yeah, it is, Neil. It's just not quite getting right, so it's a bit annoying, but just got to keep doing the rehab, and hopefully I'll get back on the park pretty soon.
And what, you've had a month so far of sitting around and just thinking, well, it's going to be right this week maybe?
Yeah, you're basically right. It's now I've missed 4 weeks, so hopefully not too many more, and hopefully I can get back maybe after the bye.
And for our Eagle supporters, you gave another twinge during the week, Pass?
Yeah, I did, just trying to get back, just easing my way back through training, but didn't quite work out how he liked and just gave it a little bit of a twinge, so minor setback, but hopefully should be right for after the bye.
Now, importantly, I guess also for yourself personally, you've been up near the top of the goal-kicking list, slowly falling down, but you've got a chief rival among your own brigade that you're really worried about.
Yeah, Vinny Regulo's been telling me all week that he's going to get a couple this week and overtake me, so I'm more concerned about getting back to try and knock him off.
Well, good luck with that. The team as a whole, though, there's certainly no problems.
Yeah, no, look, the great thing at the moment is everyone's really contributing. We're not relying on too many players, so it's really good at the moment down at the footy club.
All right, thanks, Mark. Stay with us, though. We're going across to Sodas. He's going to tell us what's been said by the 2 coaches.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. Ronnie Fuller obviously very happy. The Eagles still dominating as they have been for most of the day. Dale Ellis did slip and looks like he has damaged his left knee. He's gone straight into the rooms to have that assessed by the doctor. Luke Spear's going to start up forward, and Ron Fuller's given him a licence to fly, so we may see a little bit of excitement from him. And another change we're going to see is Justin Sikalala will have a run onto the ball. The Eagles looking very strong at the moment. And Mark, it's been a dominant performance today, but a good sign for the club is over the past couple of weeks you've been able to win without really playing great football.
Yeah, you're probably right there, Sodas. We've been able to win, and look, it hasn't been the best footy, but the good thing is we're still winning, so now hopefully we can start putting a few better performances on the park, because as you all know, we've got Sturt and then after the bye Central, so they're a couple of great tests for us to see where we're really at.
And Mark, you talk about fill-in. Of course, Sam Philippe contributing 5 today. You've also in the past month had Mark Stevens kicking 8. It's kind of handy to have those sort of cameo performances.
Yeah, it's good. I think I might struggle to get a gig back in this spot.
And where exactly is Ronnie Fuller playing you this season? Because I think last season we saw you variously around half forward and out of the goal square.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But this year I've mainly been out of full forward, so I probably didn't mind when he gave me the run up at half forward, but I'll just play wherever he wants me to.
All right, well, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Good luck with the rehab, and hopefully you'll get back on the park very soon.
No worries, thanks guys.
Mark Passador, Eagles full forward as he has been this season. Quick look through those goal kickers with Sam Philippe, as we mentioned, leading the way with 5. Fergus Watts with 2. The multiple goal kicker for the Panthers is Clinton King with just 2, as we'll have a quick look through those stats.
And as we suspect, the Eagles with two quarters with the Breeze lead the inside 50s 30 to 28. They just have used the ball better as they've gone forward.
Sodas, you've got Ian Borchard, one of the assistants at the Eagles, with you.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. Borch, it's been a pretty good performance so far, even with this tricky breeze.
Oh yeah, look, the boys are sticking to what they've been asked to do, and I think that's paid dividends as it's gone along, so this last quarter is going to be an interesting one for us.
And a couple of changes. Luke Spear's going to get a run up forward.
Yeah, look, he's exciting, Luke, so we just hope by giving him an opportunity up there that he'll take those chances and be exciting for everyone to have a look at.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, mate.
Ready to go for the final quarter. Wasn't expecting that, but look, I can tell you at three-quarter time, North Adelaide 17-3, 105, leading Sturt by 19 points, 13-8-86. Andrew, stop hitting me. Thank you very much. We're ready to go in the final quarter. Here's Michael Maney.
Working beautifully there, Neil. Back in the middle, 47 points the difference. Underway in the last quarter of round 11, this AFL. Powell for the Eagles, kicks it forward. Pumped away, working hard. Hanby has been a good player for them. Lindsay cleverly got it to Regolo. Could have got a free kick. Inkster just with the right foot. And that man that Mark Soderstrom told us about earlier, Luke Spear, is going forward with immediate effect. He takes the mark around 35 metres out directly in front. The young man is just starting to make his way in the competition, coming from Jeps Cross last year, Luke Spear. And this will really sink the Panthers. He has drawn it back beautifully. And a goal inside a minute to the Eagles as they push away by 53 points.
And just a nail in the coffin here is that the Eagles just work it forward. Rugolo involved. Inkster had a quiet start to the game, getting involved. And Luke Spear just read it better than anybody else off the boot. Worked his way to the front, importantly into the breeze. Via North Adelaide, via Jeps Cross. Been reinvented by Ron Fuller today. The moves paid off straight away. He kicks a goal. Robert Pyman will find a lot about his players in this last quarter.
Ball back in the middle and a lot of congestion in there just for a change. Rugolo getting up, surrendering the ball. Importantly for our guest at three-quarter time, Mark Passador, Rugolo hasn't got a goal, but he might get an opportunity. No, goes short this time to Watts. And the young man takes the mark and then looks for a lead inside forward 50. And that'll be a free kick against Warren, will it? No, free kick against Phillippo for holding on. Ben Warren obviously gone into the back line. Well, Spear appeared to be coming from the side before the umpire called play on. That's certainly what the umpire thought. And as a result, it's a 25-metre penalty.
Does he get a 1%er for a smother for that?
Maybe in the Eagles stats. Warren down towards half forward, looking for Bennett, who's been shifted up forward for this final quarter. Cicolella was clever to Colville. He had Toya in space, uses him. Toya, time to have a bounce and a look. Goes short with the pass, and that was a bad choice. Nigel Smart, though, misjudged it. Was able to reef it in, then Hamby dropped it. Umpire call play on. McKenzie got the hand pass out. Then a turn, it goes forward for the Eagles. Gee, they look sloppy south. Stokes knocked it out. Toya finally to Phillippo. He's going to kick it off the ground. Oh, was it over the line? Wait on it. I think it was. No, the goal umpire said play on. So somehow South Adelaide got out of that one.
It's a bit suspect to me, Neil. Must agree with you. We'll get to it in a moment. Hanby kicks to the wing. Taken by Lindsay. High kick. Yahoo Watts has got it towards Cicolella. Cicolella's spearing kick has been marked by a man right on the top of his game this afternoon, Sam Phillippo. Let's have a look at the previous one from Phillippo. Did he get? He got his boot to it, and well, that's a goal for mine.
No,
off the boot.
The ball has to be across the line, Michael.
Thank you very much, Andrew Rogers, who just pulled out his official SANFL rulebook. As Sam Phillippo's booted 5.
It's a fairly good luxury to throw Justin Cicolella, probably one of the better players in the competition in the last 2 years. Just throw him in the midfield from the halfback flank.
Phillippo from 45 has half a dozen as the Eagles are, you'd have to say, embarrassing South Adelaide at their home ground.
Yes, embarrassing is a strong word, but they really have controlled the game for most of the day. And as I said, the scoring shots tell a very telling tale. And as I said, Justin Cicolella, probably one of the best finishers and use of the footy in the SANFL. Sam Phillippo, good pace there to take it in front of his eyes, nice and clean. And as I said, one thing he can do is finish. He's probably only had 7, 8, 10 kicks for the day. He's got his 6 goals alongside his name, though.
Yep, just the 8 kicks, Andrew.
South Adelaide, blessedly, finally for their supporters getting the ball forward. Manhood off the ground, that was sloppy. Into the 50 and out, and then in again. Does that count as 2 entries, Boggy?
Just 1.3, Neil.
Maybe the ball wasn't fully over the line the second time, but it looked like it bounced inside 50, then out, then back in. Of course, eventually out of bounds. Ronnie Fuller content to look at the game from ground level this afternoon. Lindsay at the front, dominant ruckman in this league. Handby roves it off the left foot, long, out in the full.
Just trying to work there in a confined space. Look, it's done the right thing, Michael Handby, trying to get it on his boot quickly. Just typified South Day. They really haven't been clean and tight, and just the pressure put on by the Eagles around the midfield. It's just been a little bit too much. The difference between playing a lesser side is that they won't put that type of pressure. You don't have that pressure. You can use your skills, and it's not under pressure. Today, the Eagles have been very good at their 1%ers, putting pressure on, tackle, shepherding. We've seen a number of smothers. They really have overwhelmed South Adelaide.
Stephen Hall brings the ball back in. Sikalella, brilliant rove. Then the hand pass inside, misses the target, and Powell, who'll be shut down immediately. He picked it up, surrendered the ball. That allowed Manhood in. Manhood, though, shut down quickly again. Griffin, brilliant vision. Smith was good as well. Handby can straighten on the right leg and kick for goal. Handby lobs it up over the umpire's head. Thank you very much. A goal to South Adelaide. And just a tinge of the ironic cheers coming from their crowd.
Some good play by Clay Sampson here on the wing. Hopefully we pick it up on the replay. He didn't charge at Justin Sigalella. He made him think about it, and he just missed the handball. And eventually they worked into space. And Michael Handby, who's battled hard today, finishes off nicely. So South Adelaide get some sort of answering goal and get some respectability back on the scoreboard.
10 kicks, 9 handballs.
Hasn't been their worst player, Handby. He's been right in there in the clinches. Good tackler. 6 effective tackles last week. There's Floriani and O'Hara just having a jog. Ellis, the man who has gone into the rooms with an injury. Powell crashes through. Their commitment at the football today and their hardness, the Eagles, Andrew, has just been exemplary, hasn't it?
It's a very good workout for next week. They'll face a pumped-up Sturt, and as I said, after the week after they play Centrals, they're going to need to be at the top of their game.
Sturt looking a bit wobbly against North Adelaide this afternoon. Manhood couldn't get it. In goes Sikalella. Just feeds it out. Handball of sorts to Potter, whose kick is favouring Westbrook, who couldn't quite hold on. Boundary throw in. 7.5 minutes gone, 53 points the difference.
Andrew, you'll know this. Has Ryan Potter got the nickname Harry?
No, he hasn't actually. No. Quite simply, Potts.
What a big game next week. It will be Sturt and the Eagles at Unley. And should be a big crowd there. ABC Television will bring that game to you. Be one of the games of the season, you would imagine. Sturt, who overcame Centrals a couple of weeks ago, last week, looking to get right back in the fray. Sikalella got it to Rugolo, taken by Stokes. What a miracle it is, he's back in town. Bradley does well in the gap, just kicks it long, looking for Bennett. Bennett's normally got sticky fingers, couldn't take it. Taken by Fruin, good hands to Pedlar, who got it to Stokes. Now here go the Eagles, this is where they can burn you. Stokes, kick into the pocket. Filippo couldn't hold on. Spear just tapped it forward. Riding him is Cobb. Spear good enough to get it back. He's done everything today. Filippo, left foot snap to the hot spot. Watts couldn't get there. Ball thumped away close to the line. Spear, surely a free kick. Umpire said play on. And will he ping him for holding the ball? No. I thought the young man could have got a free kick there. But Andrew, tell us all about it.
It's great discipline by Sam Filippo to send it up. Pose a question to you, gentlemen. Has there been a hold in the ball today?
I think so.
Not that I can remember. Here's Stokes on the boundary up the left foot, straightens up. Whole lot of Eagles in front of goals, but it's Bradley that takes it away for South Adelaide. He releases Smith, puts on the hammer, and then Smith gets down towards half back before he kicks down towards half forward, using the breeze, but not using the kick very well. Eagles will get an opportunity to repel it. Westbrook did well to get clear, and in the end, I thought that was out on the full, maybe not, just inside the line, according to the umpire. And again, Andrew, no holding the ball.
There's Nick Manhood voicing his disapproval at that to the umpire. But just good presence of mind, had his arm pinned. just got the kick towards the boundary line. So good defensive play. They have a very good mixture of attack and defence going at the moment, the Eagles.
Hedge in the ruck getting the ball down. He hasn't had much time on the ground, I don't think, today as Hedge, but ball cleared out of there by Colville. High. And now coming the other way, Smith. He's clever, not that time. To have the ball away to a teammate under pressure, and as a result, again, the Eagles get a chance. Stokes had a few possessions since he came back on. I know he was stalled on 13, I think it was, when he went off the ground with that dislocated thumb. Miraculously back on the ground. Eagles come clear. Rugolo inside the Watts. Watts just then boots it down towards half forward. Griffin gets rid of his man for South Adelaide. The man was Mackenzie, who comes again. Griffin off the left foot, down towards half forward, looking for Hedge. Hedge is still 70 metres from goal. Looks up, no lead forthcoming. Tregenza is the target. Opposed to Hall, Tregenza in front. Hall brings him to ground. What a shock. The man who knows more about wrestling than the wrestlers themselves, Stephen Hall, does a good job. The Eagles come clear again, and it'll be Hall. He'll get an opportunity to clear the area. No, Gavin, Cicolella had their hands on hips and was thinking about what the next move was when he was given the ball by Hall. He gave it then in turn to Colville. They're taking their time. Boy, this is ugly football, really. The Eagles get it out of their defensive area, though. Out towards the wing. Bradley, another strong mark. Off to Smart. Haven't seen much of Nigel this afternoon. 277-game veteran at the Crows. Gets it across to Hanby. Can share it. Opts not to. He is a long kick. From 60, he lines up for goal. Thumps it long. Has the distance. What's the accuracy like? Good goal to Michael Hanby. Well, he knew his capabilities.
And he needed the kicker because Clay Sampson was his captain that was running inside. And if you don't give to the captain, you're sometimes in trouble. But, of course, they worked the ball beautifully from the outer side. They brought it back into the midfield and really haven't done enough of that today. Worked it out to the attacking side, and Hanby took his time, unloaded from well outside 50, and finished with a nice goal. So South Adelaide just persisting. The Eagles just tending to muck around with the footy a bit too much at the moment. Get back to that direct play that served them so well today.
2 last quarter goals to Michael Hanby. A couple of beauties, too, on the run. Long goals. Back to 47 points. Robert Pyman will want his side to really run this game out. King, another entry inside 50. Fruin off the ground. That Eagles defence has been terrific today, and probably the best of them. Merriman, who's wearing Guernsey number 39. There's Michael Hanby. If you want a copy of this game and any other game in the SANFL this year, just call that number on your screen, 08 8343 4601. You can purchase any video from any round of the SANFL. Inside 50 for the Panthers, taken by Stokes. Short dinky kick finds Merriman. Merriman will kick to half back. Smith there with Inkster. Smith did well. He's got around. Lovely play by Smith. He'll be looking for Hanby. Hanby's going to fly. Can't take the mark. Ball to ground. Little gift to Tregenza. Merriman cleaned it up and went for the line. Good defensive work by Merriman. For my mind, just about best of field today, Merriman. Terrific player.
You'd certainly be vying with it. You'd certainly have to give it to an Eagles player, but they've spread the load so evenly over a number of players. Luke Toy's been very good. Gavin Colville's been also very good. They're about the main 3 leading on the ground. I'd say Sam Philippo with 6 goals.
Powell gave it to Rugolo through the middle of the ground looking for Watts. Bennett did well, got in there, and now they share the ball to King through the middle. King looks up, gets towards that 60 or 70 metres out, and then chips it up. Tregenza on the lead. Nice mark. Nice pass as well from King.
Just showing his class there, Clinton King, able to find some space in the midfield. Beautifully weighted kick to Rod Guernsey coming out. One of the few times that he's been able to hit on the lead.
Clinton King, busiest player on the ground, 13 kicks and 15 handballs.
Tregenza. Precious few opportunities, just the 1 goal this afternoon. The former Kangaroo pops into that ball, kicks it straight, and another goal for Tregenza, and some face-saving late goals for South Adelaide.
Certainly just getting respectability back on the scoreboard. Certainly all the heat has gone out of the game. But Clinton King, see there, just beautifully weighted. Didn't try to drill the kick. just kicked it out in front of Rodriguez on a lead. Not too much that Stephen Hall can do about that. Rodriguez goes back and kicks his second for the day from limited opportunities. Certainly hasn't been his fault that South Adelaide find themselves in this predicament.
Vinny Rugolo copying a bit of a serve from Ron Fuller down the bench. One of the disadvantages of having your coach sitting down on the bench, and he's been replaced on the ground by John Floriano.
Yeah, she covered face to face. Smith out of the centre. Nigel Smart on the overlap. Sampson, former Crow. I go into attack again. Long kick by Hanby is away to the right. And out of bounds on the full. Michael Hanby loaded up a couple of late. Missed with that one. Hall got it to Merriman. Deep in his defensive 50. Short kick. It might come unstuck. Toya. Get it back. Underground handball. Or played by the Panthers. Got it back in. Manhood should kick a goal. Found a bit of space. Nick Manhood and drilled a goal. Fourth goal of the quarter to the Panthers as they come rattling home, but time will beat them, no doubt about that. And the Eagles have taken the foot off the pedal. It's back to 34 points.
Still a little bit of arrogance about the Eagles at the moment. They've got the game covered. But Nick Manhood, look, gets a reward. He's had a good day. He stitched up Justin Sikalila early. And then just importantly, took off, ran with the footy and carried it, settled on his preferred leg, finishes with a nice goal. If I was Ron Fuller, I reckon I'll be sending the runner out just to say, hey, we've still got 10 minutes to go here.
Well, it's 3 years since South Adelaide last won 3 in a row. They're not about to win 3 in a row this afternoon. They've won their past 2, and you would think the Eagles have them covered at 34 points in front.
Andrew Ronnie
through the final quarter. Sorry, go.
Yeah, Andrew Ronnie has sent the runner out, but it's to get Luke Toyer off the ground, and Vinny Rugolo is going to get another go.
King, first position, just got it forward for South Adelaide. They are coming over the wet sail. Nice little hand pass or two in there. It finishes with the captain. Sampson was just able to toe poke it. The tackle coming in late from, well, I'm not sure, it might have been Westbrook or Powell. Westbrook, I think it was, who now goes back in and under the pack. Pulls the ball in, and yes, it was. Well done, David Westbrook. Just as the captain, Clay Sampson, was going to goal for South Adelaide. Luke Toyer, as Soda's just mentioned, off the ground. Lindsay claiming a free kick there, none forthcoming from the umpire. Finally comes to Inkster, goes short. Well gathered by Pedler, knows what to do. Boosts it long. Trouble is it's 2-on-1 up there. Bradley, nice control. Fergus Watts hanging off him, takes the mark. In the middle of the ground, he's got a short lead on from a short player in Webb. Opts against that. Instead, uses the breeze, goes long. Nobody at the back of the pack. Smart will come from behind. In the middle of the pack, he gets it down to King. King with the hand pass to Daly. Short to Hanby. 2 in front of them. One of them was Carey. Carey will run into open goal and shouldn't miss from that sort of range, and doesn't. Well, you never know, Andrew. A sneaky chance, maybe.
Be very sneaky, I think. But look, they've persisted in this last quarter, and Robert Pyman would be happy with that, as much as what Ron Fuller is just pleased with what's happened. Once again, set up by Clinton King. He has religiously gone front and centre. Nigel Smart provided a good marking yard, brought it front and centre. They had a number of players running forward to the play, and Carey was there lucky enough to be on the end of it. So just a nice quarter. They've done everything that Robert Pyman was asked them in this last quarter. They will win the quarter. So it's some sort of momentum going into next week.
5 goals to 2 in this last term. 28 points the difference. But under 5 goals. Still a long way for South Adelaide. O'Hara in the ruck. Floriani can't get free. I suppose all the Eagles need to do now is just try and bottle it up a bit. Keep it to the outer side. A lot of players around this ball. Sikalila ducked the head, and Daly ran straight into it. Free kick to the star midfielder, who's played across half-back for most of the season. Almost lost to the club this year as he went to Victoria. Long kick to forward. Taken by Inkster. Inkster throws it on the boot. A one-on-one contest. Filippo there. In goes Bennett. It's a short kick out. Stokes will mow the footy down. Ran a little bit too quickly. Ran straight past it. May get it back again. Work to the line. Good play by young Ryan Griffin, who continues to impress Ron Fuller. Well, he was laughing about 10 or 15 minutes ago on the boundary. Not too much to smile about at the moment. Boundary throw in. Deep in the heart of Eagle territory, Clinton King. Got one too high from Mackenzie as he was sliding to the ground. Umpire Williams paying that free kick. About to tick into 20 minutes. Clinton King with the free kick. What does he have in front of him? Not too much. The Eagles have manned up pretty well. Finding some space on the outer side is Webb. Webb will need to kick it long. It's about a 55-metre drop punt down, looking for Manhood. Manhood and Westbrook. Westbrook happy to see it to the line. Manhood content to turn around to the umpire and say that was deliberate. Throw it back in.
Just don't know about the Scott Webb. Very wide. You know, look, you're trying to win the game. You need 5 goals to win the game. It's attack down the middle of the ground.
Nigel Smart also complaining there about that decision. The sun's shining in his eyes, but let me tell you, it is cool. There is snow due to forecast to fall tonight. I would have thought it's really getting cold down here. As South Adelaide at gate, Bennett could have got a free kick. No, nothing forthcoming from the umpire. Here's Tarrant over the ball for South. Got one. Umpire said play on. Colville comes in over the top of him, and we'll get a throw up.
Continues his to develop again after his knee injury. Gavin Colville enjoying a very good season, getting more confident and getting fitter all the time.
13 and 11 today.
It's Colville.
14 and 11.
His comeback from his knee reconstruction was in round 2 against South Adelaide. It was a loss, and as we said, South Adelaide the only side to beat the Eagles this season. They're not going to beat them this afternoon, although 28-point margin, you never know. It is late in the game, though. They break from the back and go forward again, South Adelaide. What's the bounce like here? It could go through. Pedler, in fact, will take it through. So a rush behind as Kruger's kick came in from outside 50. Robbie Pyman only on his mind this afternoon.
I think being a realist, he would have come here today thinking, look, if the Eagles play to their best, they're probably going to be too good for us and too many options through the midfield. It's probably the beauty of next week's matchup between Sturt and the Eagles. They do match up very well in the midfield, so it's going to be a real battle in there, and it should be a great game.
His sensational match. Tune in for that one on ABC television. Bring that to you from Unley. Spirited performance by the Panthers, South Adelaide in this last term. Pedler. Good kick into the teeth of the breeze. They fly. Ball thumped from behind. King. Another possession for him. Short distance kick taken by Westbrook, who's been outstanding for them today, to Fruin, who just lopes down the wing. Couple of bounces by the big man, just waiting for something to open up. Ran his full measure, Brent Fruin, and kicked it long. Inkster couldn't take the mark. Back on the footy again. Somehow got out of there. Tim Inkster, he can do the mercurial. Handball to Stokes. Stokes, can he seal the win for the Eagles? As if they're not home already. Stokes gets a brilliant shepherd, lays it on the left foot, brings it around and through for a behind. Matthew Stokes, lucky to play the second half after dislocating that thumb. It's back out to 28.
10 possessions before dislocation, 9-6.
No handicap, obviously. A dislocated thumb. They've obviously put it in fairly well. The kick in from South Adelaide, not the best. Cicolella with the easiest of chest marks, uncontested at about 70 metres from goal. Looks up forward, doesn't have too many options, goes for a short pass, and it was perfectly weighted. Got to Filippo, who took possession, lost it. Umpire still called play on. Ben Warren now puts on a tackle on Floriani. Tries to fling him into the ground rather softly in the end.
Justin Cicolella had 11 possessions in the first 3 quarters and 11 in this quarter alone.
Certainly got fixed up by Manhood early on, and Tarrant taken to ground this time. Yes, Justin Cicolella was playing across half back, and he was dragged away from the play in that first half. But in this final quarter, he's been thrown into the mix through the middle. Here's Smith for South Adelaide. Had a change of mind midway through trying to kick the ball. That was dangerous. Bennett, his hand pass was loose. Smith kicks it forward. Carey, nice gather off to Smith, who didn't really want it, I don't think, because he could see the oncoming traffic. Potter off the ground, put it into the path of Colville for the Eagles. Colville ducks under a tackle and finds that man Cicolella. Cicolella looks up, goes with a stab pass with missed Filippo. Missed getting to him on the full by about 10 metres. Finally, Filippo taken to ground, and blessedly the umpire comes in and calls for another throw down or throw up at least, and that man is just about to throw up at some of the performances of his South Adelaide side.
I was wondering if you use that segue, Neil. And free kick here will go to the Eagles. Jared Bennett not happy about it. Robert Pyman, well, the look says it all. Not happy at all.
Tends to wear the heart on the sleeve, doesn't he?
He does. And Mark Passador will be on the edge of his seat as Vinny Rugolo will shoot for goal.
And he's generally a very good finisher too, so expect Vinny to kick this and put some real pressure on Mark Passador. But yes, I think Robert Pyman, you would be disappointed in today's effort. They'd certainly had emerged and are continuing to gel together well, just taking a little bit of a backward step today.
This goal to bring him one closer to Mark Passador, 19 for the season for Vinny Rugolo. Passador has 20 from about 45, sprayed it away. Good lead by Spear, taken by Wilson, whose kick's chopped off by Floriani. He's got leads coming from everywhere, Floriani. Decides to go long into the pocket. Watts flies, can't take it. Cicolella in there, kicked out of that pack. It's a magnificent goal. Touched off the boot. Didn't even pick up who it was. It was that man who's hunting down Mark Passador. Vinny, he's sniffing a goal at the moment, Andrew Rogers.
Yeah, she just can't quite get one. He's got another about 2 or 3 minutes to get one.
They have perhaps just this match to catch him, because I think Mark Passador was keen to get back from that hamstring injury next week. So South through Kruger, they've moved the ball quickly down towards Manhood from behind Westbrook. Couldn't take the mark. Manhood off the left foot over the head of his Eagles opponent there in Fruin, and just out of bounds in the forward pocket. Quick transition. They haven't done that often enough or well enough, South Adelaide. There aren't that many fans here, but those who have made the trip here to Noarlunga are quite prepared to go home, obviously.
The fire's burning at home.
Oh, I hope it is. I tell you, it's cool down here at Noarlunga. I mentioned before, perhaps snow might be forecast. South Adelaide hoping to get a late goal. Smart claimed he was held by Westbrook. Still, he went to ground. Ball in dispute. Eventually, Potter gets it clear to Toya. Toya goes short. Not the greatest of short kicks. Clinton King gave it to Daly. Daly quick to boot. Down towards the goals. Over the head. It's a goal to Daly. Oh, South Adelaide. Robbie Pyman would be saying, where did this come from? Alternatively, I would have thought Ronnie Fuller would be saying, gee boys, you've really let up on the pressure.
Yeah, I think it's more the latter than the former there, Neil. I think the Eagles have really taken the foot off the pedal. And once again, a mistake there by Luke Toya as he came into bounds. You see it there, just misses a target. They didn't do that early. They're certainly hitting their targets. And eventually the ball is turned around the corner. And South certainly have won this last quarter, but once again, it's all too little too late.
6 goals to 2 in actual fact, Andrew. Spirited performance by the Panthers, but I tell you what, Robert Pyman will not be a happy man at all. They'll drop this game, and maybe they'll go out of the 5. Taken by Cicolella. Long kick. Spear at the front. Rode brilliantly by Colville. Will the skipper seal the win with a goal? I think he might have done, or has he missed? He's distraught. He's hit the post. Running into an open goal, Gavin Colville. Find a hole and jump in it, Gavin.
Still the leading ball getter today, 14 kicks and 12 handballs. For South, Clinton Kings had 34, 16 kicks and 18 handballs.
Be Colville's best game, I would have thought, Andrews, in his comeback from that knee reconstruction.
Certainly been building as the season's gone on and continues to find the footy. He was a very good player before and seems to have come back no worse from his knee injury.
Speaking of which, there he is again with another possession. Just outside the 50, that one marked by Inkster. Quickly around on the right foot, good delivery. And Rugolo has another opportunity to edge that little bit closer. He now has no excuse. He has to have a shot.
Thought about passing it off too.
Well, Mark Passador can't rib him about the fact he wants to have a shot. So after the siren, with the margin standing at the moment at 23 points, the Eagles have led up in the final quarter, but they obviously will win this match. Here's Rugolo from out on the far side of the ground. Everybody waiting as he goes slightly right, wait on the goal umpire. Minus score, so 24 points. The final margin in favour of the Eagles. A reasonably well, a very efficient performance for 3 quarters from the Eagles, but let up in the end and just happy to get the win. 13-16-94 plays 10-9-69.
Yes, and I think that man on screen would be firstly very happy with the first 3 quarters and the professionalism of his side, but certainly disappointed by the last quarter when they certainly dropped their intensity around the footy. Their decision-making fell away. They turned the ball over and allowed South Adelaide to get into the game. The game was there to be won early, and that's when the Eagles put the heat into the contest. They had far too many contributors for South. It was left to too few for South Adelaide. Clay Sampson, Clinton King, and a few others had to do too much. Jared Bennett had to do too much, and the Eagles was very much their workload was spread over too many players for South Adelaide to control, and they really did dominate the game, as Mark Soderson seems there with a happy 6-goal forward and Sam Philippi.
Sam Philippo, a very happy man as we fumble around with the microphones. Fortunately, Sammy wasn't fumbling around with the ball today. Sammy, 6 goals with Mark Passiter out the side, just stamps your spot there.
Yeah, it's good to get a few goals, but look, the ball was coming down really well by the boys today. They really looked after me, so it was good to be involved and kick a few.
Solid victory, keeps you guys on top of the ladder too.
Yeah, that was, Ronnie emphasised that before the game, that we had a lot to play for, and even though we've won a few in the row, we've still got to just keep on keeping on. So it was good to do that. It was disappointing the last quarter probably for us, but other than that, it was a pretty good performance.
And just after half-time, it looked like you turned the clock back about a decade with that show of agility in that goal.
Yeah, it's always good to do something like that. So yeah, he just came off, tried to have a crack at it, and it worked. So it was good.
And you have had some injury problems earlier in the year with your shoulder, also your calf. How's the body holding up at 29 years of age?
Yeah, it looked pretty good, Soda. That shoulder sort of kept me out for a couple of weeks and took me a couple of weeks to get my confidence back. But feel pretty good now, and feel pretty fresh, and it was good.
Well, Sammy, I enjoyed watching you today. A magnificent effort.
Thanks, Soda. Good on you, mate.
And he will go off and join his teammates. A little worse for him. Maybe the foot's a bit sore from kicking that many goals this afternoon. Sam Philippi.
Yes, he was part of a forward line that structured really well today with Ellis and as well as Fergus Watts. They either weren't taking the marks, they were bringing the ball front and centre, so it's a very good structure. You wonder where Mark Passiter can fit back in there.
Don't say that. Do not say that, as we just get a look at the match highlights this afternoon, highlighted early by Rod Tregenza's goal. Just an opportunist effort there, and that was at the 8-minute mark, and South Adelaide had done well into the breeze at that stage.
They certainly had. They worked really hard. They put some real pressure, as we see the Matty Stokes incident where he hurt his thumb. But they worked really hard into the breeze and they had control of it. They kicked the first goal, but then the Eagles just showed their class, really got on top. Their better players started to use the ball a lot better. And there's one of that men on screen in Andrew Merriman, who was really classy out of the halfback flank. Another person heavily involved was Luke Toyer. Handballs to another bloke that was heavily involved today, Mark McKenzie. So, as I said, they do spread the workload over many contributors. There's that miracle goal from Luke Toyer from the pocket.
I tell you, Michael Maney was trying to suggest that he'd come off the boot awkwardly. I thought he did exactly what he wanted to do.
Well, I thought he was actually turning it around for a left foot check side. It seemed as though it ended up more as a drop punt. But Ron Fuller has introduced some youngsters, Luke Spear, David Westbrook, and they have been valuable contributors, and they're keeping some good players out. The scary thing for the rest of the competition is that you've still got Hayden Skipworth, you've still got Robert Shirley, still a few others to go back into that midfield, so there's certainly some improvement in the Eagles.
Well, now in one single season, it is a club record of 9 wins in a row for the Eagles, and they'll go into the match against Sturt next week very, very confident. They've actually had 17 wins from their past 18 against South Adelaide, so they've certainly dominated South Adelaide, and those wins include 6 in a row here at Noarlunga.
Yes, they certainly have owned Noarlunga since South Adelaide have moved down here. A lot of the highlights you're seeing now, South Adelaide goals, is when all the heat had gone out of their game. So you can see a beautiful sunset there. The sun was out. I think it's out anyway. We're not really feeling the benefit of it here in the commentary box.
That isn't off tape in past years. It is actually happening right now, although let me tell you, it's pretty cool down here at Noarlunga, as we see there. The margins 19 at quarter time, 24 at the half, 47 at three-quarter time, and then South Adelaide kicking 6 goals to 2 in the final quarter. for that 25-point final margin.
As we get a look at the goal kickers, Sam Philippi was a dominant forward with 6. Fergus Watts competed really hard for 2. Toya, Spear, Westbrook and Ellis each with 1 each. And for South Adelaide, most of them came in the last quarter with King, Tregenza and Hamby all with 2. Manhood, Warren and Daly all with just with 1 each.
And the stats overall, a dominance there in handballs and kicks for the Eagles. In the end, they used the ball into the breeze very effectively and, of course, with the breeze.
The one that really stands out to me is the marks, where they have actually hit their targets as they go forward. South Adelaide generally missed their targets, made poor decisions. Interestingly, they won the centre breaks, which is a real win. At the start of the day, I would have thought the Eagles would have won the centre breaks with Brett O'Hara and Paul Lindsay, but Mark Bradley did a good job in there.
Yes, well, I can tell you from other grounds, and importantly, this has a bearing for next week. The Eagles going in, as we said, having won 9 in a row against a Sturt side that lost this afternoon at Prospect. North Adelaide 21-6, 132. Sturt 17-11, 113. So, looking ahead to next week, well, that will be very interesting, that clash between the Eagles and Sturt. That's at the Unley Oval, so fortunately some of us don't have far to travel. North against Port is the other game at the Adelaide Oval, which now should be of very high interest for Roosters fans. Centrals against West at Elizabeth, and Glenelg against South Adelaide at Glenelg. And Mark Soderstrom joins us from outside the rooms because he's not allowed in.
No, Neil, you're right. I think Ronnie Fuller very disappointed with that final term. The Eagles all over South Adelaide for 3 quarters. And Ronnie shut the door. He's kicked us out, but he'll be very happy to know that North have got over Sturt and the Eagles can be set up beautifully for that clash next week.
All right, Soders, thanks for that. Thanks for your company this afternoon. The Eagles home by 25 points as the sun sets at Noarlunga. Bye for now.